Hi, this is Storytime here. I would like to share a story of me being the second best friend of somebody. Back then, when I was in ninth grade, my hell strict parents finally decided to send me a coaching center for math and English. You see, I went to a only girls' school and I had only 3 close friends. And to my misfortune, they all lived far away from my house. There was no way that we would have the same coaching center. So I was a bit nervous at how I am gonna survive at that place. And to my utter despair, I was not very good at making friends too. But I gathered my courage and decided not to panic and try to make some new friends. So the day finally came and I dressed up myself as the most ridiculous person in the whole world. You see, I had a very strict parents and I did not have my own mobile, so I was unaware of fashion and I wore whatever my mom used to buy for me. So back to the story, I went to the coaching and standing in front of the door of the room. The teacher was not there and students were there, so I knew it's the room. The room was crowded and I did not have any idea where to sit. I was there standing like a freak watching the boys and girls wearing fancy dresses and their fancy perfumes blew up my nose. They were also watching me as I did not seem to be one of them. I was frozen, not knowing what to do, staring blankly at the students. Suddenly a sweet girl waved at me and I was shocked. Then she asked me to sit next to her. I was relieved. She was my savior. It was like a miracle for me. I was in the 9th class and so I decided to introduce myself first. She also introduced herself. Let's call her my bestie. And she turned out to be my freaking neighbor. I was happy. So gradually she became my bestie. She had a mobile and I remember I used to play games on her mobile in her house. Her mom was very sweet too. She was like my best friend, or at least I thought so. Everything was pretty fine until one day in the coaching a pretty looking girl came and sat beside Bestie. Let's call her X. You know, X was a type of girl who acts like a innocent one but was the most clever and cunning. My so-called bestie happened to forget me that day completely. And she did not talk to me the whole class. I was sad. They were having bestie gossips in which they did not let me to be a part of. I tried to talk to them but simply they signed me that they did not wanted me. I was very sad. You see, I and Bestie were neighbors, so we used to walk home together. That day I asked her to go home. She said me to wait a few minutes as she is waiting for X. I was okay with that. Apparently X did not understand English, so she needed an extra time to understand the HW. After like 30 minutes X came. And to my surprise my bestie ran to X and they both started walking, leaving me behind completely confused. Bestie did not even bother to look at me. I mean, hello, I was standing there for 30 minutes for nothing. They were holding hands and chit-chatted. I immediately ran up to them and they did not care about me. I wanted to be with them but they will just put me aside. In that way I went home that day completely devastated. My own bestie did not care about me.